Today I'm building the Minecraft Axolotl in Lego. I decided to go with orange because I had the best selection of colors that way. And instead of just building a tiny little mob, I decided to do a whole diorama and go large scale with it. If you enjoy, please make sure to drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get on with the video. So beginning with the base, I made a layer of bricks that are underneath the surface level, so they're just the first layer of tiles to make it look nice and flat, and then there's some gravel and clay and sand underneath. Next, we make some sand blocks. They're just 3 bricks high with 1 layer of plate or tile on top. You need 2 4x4 plated ones, one flat one completely, 2 ones with 4 studs in the middle, and ones with jumper plates. As you can see, they're all square by any angle you put them, which makes sense considering this is Minecraft we're talking about. So next up, we're going to place all the sand blocks. There's 7 of them, and they have specific orders due to whatever sits on top of them. And so there's one with center studs in the corner, and then the other one goes up top just to give it the contrast of being higher up, and because Minecraft just looks like that. And I tried to make it more natural of a corner. At first I had it 90 degrees, but then I stuck one in the center when I dug up some more tan bricks just so I had enough, and it just looks more natural that way. So there's one with all the studs back there, which we're going to put some kelp or seaweed, or I forget the plant, but I'll figure it out. And then there's flat one, and then the one with the 2x2 jumper plates there. The second one with the 2x2 jumper plates can also have 4 studs on top. Next up, we're going to make a clay brick or block, and this one, as you can see, I don't have very much of this gray-blue color, and so I had to use some plates and bricks and even a piece from a Brickhead's, which is like the torso suit. It's from like Fantastic Beasts, but on the outside it looks fine, and it looks like I actually have enough pieces, and so you don't see the bad parts, and it makes it look like clay. There's 2 final blocks to make this diorama complete, a piece of blue coral and some gravel. So basically for both of these, or especially the gravel, I just took random plates of light blue, gray, and dark bluish gray, and stacked them together to give it that look. And then for the coral, I used some trans blue and some lighter like cyan azure, and it just gave it that coral look. And on the top of the gravel, I made it look like the ones in the floor basically. There's 4 pieces of gravel, but only one's built, and then the 1 piece of coral. And coral actually goes together, but for this diorama, I only put 1 piece together just to make it look better. And because I didn't have any more. Next up, we are going to build some sea pickles. These ones are like, I don't know why, but I think it's hilarious that Minecraft has them because it's so random, but it's great. And they're actually really fun to build because of that color on the top, and I was just very lucky to have recently got a set with those pieces in them. So it's just 3 different colors of green stacked together, and it gives it that sea pickle look, and then some weird almost glow in the darky. I don't think they actually are, but they look at pieces on top to give it that sea cucumber or sea pickle look. Next up, I'm going to be baking the kelp, and for this one it was actually pretty simple for how well it worked, I think at least. So I did an alternating pattern with these leaf pieces so that every time I stacked a brick or plate in that normal green, I made them facing different directions so that there wasn't too many leaves, and then just stacked it as high as I had. I actually ended up using all my bricks and plates in that normal green color with the round pieces just because I don't have very many, but I think it actually works pretty well. Next up, I'm going to be adding some seagrass onto this back brick right here, and this one was kind of easy but also kind of hard, so I just used 1x2 plates and 1x1 bricks in a sort of jumbled way, and I did a little messing around here just to make it look right because it didn't look right, and so there's different heights, and it just kind of grows to a peak at the top. I used some smaller pieces, some bigger pieces, but I think overall it looks like kelp or seagrass, and yeah, it was pretty simple to build, but it doesn't look that great from the back, and I had to switch around the tops just to make them not look bad. So I finished it. Please ignore the eye on the back. I was actually completely out of 1x1 green bricks, so I had to use the eye one just because I had none left. And I think it looked not as good if I made it shorter. Okay, and finally, let's build the axolotl. And do make sure you watch to the end because there's going to be a little surprise. So basically the main parts for this one is to have a contrast between yellow and that orangey yellow, and have that 2x2 flat tile at the back and the brown pieces for the hinges. And then make sure you have the eyes and mouth and the little ear things. Otherwise, the rest is pretty do whatever you want. And also make sure you have this snot plate. That's not a thing, but it's just this gray 2x2 that has some bricks on the side, so that way we can hook the tail in. The actual plates that go in between the main details can be switched around according to whatever your collection has. Next up, let's add the feet. These are really simple. They're just some corner plates and some 1x1 clip pieces. I angled them on different sides just to give it that dimensional look and not be completely square. Even though it's Minecraft, it's not all square. And then finally just put that jumper plate in the back to hold the tail on. The next detail pieces flatten out the back and also give it that ridge that lines up with the tail. And of course, just to make everything look flat and square, add some 1x4s, tiles, and plates. And for the top of the head, every axolotl has those 3 different frilly things. So for these I used some cheese wedges on jumper plates, and I just fortunately had that darker orange color in those. It would look fine without, but I like the contrast. And then some more 1x4 tiles to smooth it all off and keep that boxy look. Finally, for the tail, it's actually pretty simple but also really fragile. So it's a bunch of 2x2s, or 1x2s, and then there's some clear 2x2 bricks and or I don't even know the name, but they're clear and they hold it together. And then there's also that little gold piece, which I have no idea what it's called either, but it fits perfectly into that jumper plate, holds everything together, and you can see that the ridge of the axolotl meets nicely with the tail, and it just kind of works well. I may have just recorded the last minute and a half of this video without actually recording it, so here we go. I'm really happy with how this axolotl turned out. I think it actually fits pretty nicely on this diorama. The axolotl is a great addition to Minecraft. If you haven't seen it in Minecraft, then you should go find it or go in creative and just spawn one. But I actually had the opportunity to find one in a ravine, and it was actually the gold color, which is more rare than the pink one. But that was pretty cool. If you think I should build this in Minecraft, then leave a like. But you should leave a like even if you don't think I should build it. So here's the surprise. I made a mini one. Just ignore this axolotl. It's completely horrible. Like I said, building at that scale is just really hard. But other than that, I made this mini mock of my larger mock with everything in it. There's a little less detail, but I used these upside down mop pieces in green that also came from the same set as the sea pickle piece. But I'm really happy with how both of them turned out. I think building in Minecraft in Lego is really fun, but if the small one gets 100, if we get 100 likes, I'll do free instruction for the small one, and 500 likes for free instructions for the big one, including the axolotl. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.